What will airport expansion do to property values? So far, no one has that answer.
That Friday the 13th
plan was presented to members of the airport's business community. Channel 5's John Noel has that story.
There were two main reasons for the early morning breakfast briefing. One was to answer questions from the almost 200 business people there.
Barring unforeseen delays, how long might it be until the first runway that you're proposing would be?
We're hoping for 5 years.
The other reason was to try and get their support for the expansion project.
The cooperation of the business community is absolutely vital to put this whole thing together. They're going to be the chief recipients of the economic growth in the area if the airport is expanded. And it's very vital to have them on board.
Some of those business people who support the airport once may have to move their businesses to make way for an expanded Lambert.
We have a good, prosperous business here. It would bother me to move, but basically we're pro-expansion. We don't want to lose St. Louis as a hub city.
Other business people say while they support the expansion plan, they don't like the timetable. Before the airport expansion plan can get off the ground, a 2-year environmental impact study has to be completed. In the meantime, many area businesses will have to put their plans on hold while they wait for the results of that study.
Well, it holds us back from some expansion that we need or improvement that we need pretty desperately. And now we don't know where we're going to go.
Airport officials say they hope to be able to answer specific questions like that at a public meeting later this month. In North County, John Noel, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Now, that public meeting on the airport expansion plan will be held October 28th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Holiday Inn on Lindbergh.
Well, whether you think it's a growing monster, a necessary evil, or whatever, Lambert Airport has been with us for a long time. Dick Ford is here with a follow-up report on the airport, now at the center of this renewed controversy. Dick?
Well, certainly the recent history of Lambert Airport has been controversial. Its early history was colorful, paralleling the story of aviation itself. It goes back to the turn of the century. It was 1910 when President Teddy Roosevelt came to St. Louis at the invitation of Major Albert Lambert, the head of the St. Louis Aero Club.
But for the first time in history, a president of the United States had flown. The fact that it happened in St. Louis was the simple result of the dedicated zeal of Major Lambert, and the fact that the hero of San Juan Hill couldn't refuse a challenge. The great man's verdict on his flight, bully.
In July of 1923, in recognition of Major Lambert's leadership, the city named the airfield Lambert Field. 2 months later, the international air races were held at Lambert Field.
Lambert Field was jammed with over 100,000 spectators.
Then in 1927, an airmail pilot by the name of Charles Lindbergh with his Spirit of St. Louis plane made aviation history and put St. Louis and its airfield on front pages around the world. After World War II, airline travel really took off, and Lambert Airport became a major airline stop. A new modernistic terminal was built and dedicated with fanfare in 1956. But the arrival of jet airliners brought the need for longer runways and more expansion. To relieve Lambert's problems, Mayor A.J. Cervantes and Illinois Governor Richard Ogilvie tried to get a new airport put in Columbia, Waterloo, Illinois. That effort failed to win federal support after many years of controversy.
In that it indicated to me that the airlines intended to continue operations at Lambert.
After that, expansion of Lambert really began in earnest, and with it, major problems for many of the communities surrounding the airfield. You can see that a crucial decision was made in the 70s that it was cheaper and more prudent to expand Lambert by buying out surrounding property than to move the airport or to build a new airport in Columbia, Waterloo, or in Forestell, Missouri, another area that was mentioned. And the dispute we have today can be directly traced back to that decision in the 1970s.
Not completely resolved, it looks like.
No, it's not.
And similar issues, too.